Alright, Shalom. Give all praise, Yahweh Shem Yeshua Bashim Rakakadash. Honors to all the ones who teach this truth of knowledge, so we learn this truth of knowledge from their teachers. Call Yahweh Shem Yeshua Bashim Rakakadash. Give all praise, Yahweh Shem Yeshua Bashim Rakakadash. Quick news. Obama is judged in favor relating to tariffs. This NTD, which is New Tang Dynasty, which is a China-based news. You also had a judge block the use relating to National Guards in Los Angeles. And also judges blocking relating to relating to the tariffs, illegal of the tariffs. You had India proposing relating to time sensitive, relating to a certain number to zero. That's time sensitive. And also Trump was talking about India taking advantage of them from an economical aspect. Not just India, but a lot of these countries. That's why he imposed these tariffs. And these tariffs end up backfiring, man. You know what I mean? So you have relating to the Space Force. They have a new headquarters, which is going to be in Huntsville, Alabama. You also former Mayor Rudy Giuliani to receive the highest civilian award by the Trump administration, the Presidential Medal of Freedom Award, related to his service. Let's go on some more news. You got a report here at CNN talking about Chinese leader Xi Jinping makes a veiled swipe at the United States. You also have in their alliance relating to the summit, have a stronger alliance, stronger ties related to India, China, Russia. You had a report the other day talking about Mayor Marjorie Greene was talking about the stable coins. There's a video I was watching. One of the guys of the truth talking about she's against relating to the stable coins because it's going to mean certain things relating to, in a matter of speaking, surveillance and control, man. And as she would call a so-called Christian herself, she's against it, using relating to Revelations 13. You know what I mean? Because even she knows on some level. You know what I mean? So, and so she was talking about how it's going to pretty much control different facets of society. You're not going to be able to, have the, especially the financial flexibility or freedom relating to financially or economically. You know what I mean? So, that was a video talking about that. Scripture says, be not ignorant anything in a great matter or small, man. So be not ignorant. Ignore or ignorant, not knowing in general, man. Russia signs a historic Siberian pipe deal with China, cutting off Europe from the major gas route as BRICS surges towards de-dollarization and multipolarity. It's a little bright out here. So they're as we discussed, relating to geopolitical headwinds shaking the U.S. in its hegemony, which is its sovereignty and power, man. Trump was talking about relating to crackdown in Chicago and different things, talking about relating to in D.C. is a safe zone now, talking about what he's doing is improving, relating the results. Let's go to more news. Yeah, Graham Greene, which is a movie star, best known for Kicking Bird and best in movie opposite of Kevin Costner, relating to Dancing with the Wolves. He passed away at 73. Graham Greene. The use of federal troops in Los Angeles is unlawful. Judge rules. That's all I'm saying. The judge, in the use of the federal troops, effectively creates a national police force with the president as the chief violation of the Posey Comitas Act, which is 1878. Review the Posey Comitas Act. In simple terms, what does it mean? Posey Comitas Act is a federal law that prohibits the use of Army and Air Force to enforce civilian law. So military to act in the job or responsibilities of policemen, or civilian law, which would be the police force. In some exceptions, unless under extreme circumstances, and I mean extreme, then that'll be something different. It stems from the tradition and the distrust of the military involvement of domestic affairs, and was passed in response to concerns during the Reconstruction era about troops interfering with local matters, man. That's why you have that separation, you know what I mean? Essentially, it prevents military from acting as police force for the public, with Congress and Constitution having authorized such use, man, to keep federal military separate from law enforcement. Applies in the Army and Air Force, man. Enacted 1878. That was during Rutherford B. Hayes, the 19th president, man. That was during his time. He signed that. I think it was June 18th, 1878, something like that. Congress had passed laws to allow military to be used for domestic law enforcement, such as cases of domestic violence, protecting of federal property, and that's the extreme case, civil unrest, lawlessness, civil unrest, you know, where it's absolute chaotic and out of control, that then they could be used, and that's extreme circumstances. In terms, the military can't be called up to do things like arrest people, manage traffic, or other police work on the streets. They can only do specific law passed by the Congress explicitly allows it on very specific, defined emergencies like major insurrections where civilians authorities are overwhelmed, and that's why they're there. That's why they're auxiliary in the form of a backup, just in case civilian law or local authorities are overwhelmed relating to as far as crowd control and different things. That's why they're the backup for that, man. They're more of the backup for the civilian law when things get beyond where they can no longer handle it. So that's what that is. All right, let's go to more news. Talking about relating to HUD. Trump may declare a national housing emergency now relating to HUD changes that could impact relating to illegal migrants, immigrants, or aliens relating to in HUD, where they no longer can receive relating to different things. And that relates to HUD, so there could be changes relating to that. Seeing that on the report. So relating to those individual, illegal migrants getting relating to benefits, they could be impacted relating to that change that could come. Let me see what else we have. We're going to do away with. We're going to do it anyway. Trump says he intends to deploy National Guards to Chicago. So he's going to do it anyway. He's going to defy the order. Trump is doing that anyway, We had relating to press report today, Douchey shows Trump viral video of bag being dropped from the White House resident window. Ding ding ditch pranks turns 11-year-old boy deleted. President Trump asked that the viral online rumor that he was DOA, or deleted. Chinese host more than 20 leaders, including Russia, India, related to the summit. You having dozens of climate scientists slam energy departments reports on greenhouse gases in U.S. Over 1,000 now relating to the earthquake in Afghanistan. There's 1,100 and plus last time, so those numbers increasing. Talking about that. You have we see people deleted after a landslide wipes out entire Sudan village. It's in Africa. So you have thousands relating to landslide in Sudan, man, being deleted. You're seeing landslides, mudslides, flooding. You're seeing earthquakes, torrential type weather related to the Hurricane Gabrielle. Tropical storm Gabrielle could turn into a hurricane in the next few days. Tropical storm is developing relating to in the Gulf. The direction of it, is uncertain where it'll go, but it's a tropical storm because this is the time of the year, September and October, September and up, sometimes August, is the intensification or heighten of the hurricane season. Xi Jinping and Putin reaffirm old friend ties during the meeting in face of the U.S. challenges. So, like I said, all three have strengthened their alliances and their ties together. They all the BRICS: Brazil, Russia, China, India. The city leaders brace for deployment of National Guards to Chicago, which may begin Tuesday. So Trump's sending relating to ICE resources, troops, and different things to Chicago anyway. He sent them there, even against the defy orders of the judge, man. Government rep Macy files discharge petition to force votes on releasing Epstein files. They still talk about that. Scripture says, knowing this in the last days, that perilous time shall come. You know, Scripture talks about be circumspect as fools as wise, redeeming the times, because the days are evil. We need evil days, man. We need evil times. You know what I mean? North Korea and Chinese, Russian leaders to meet. And Trump also wants to meet North Korea leader soon as well. You have now it's up to 1,400 relating to the Afghanistan that earthquake in Afghanistan, which is over 6 point in measure, the Richter scale. It's up to 1,400, and those numbers might keep changing and changing as you know as it goes on. Wall Street dips after court rules Trump's tariffs illegal. Okay. You having now this is in Chicago. Speaking about Chicago, at least 53 shot, 7 fatally on Labor Day weekend. So, believe it, to be honest, the National Guard in Chicago, which is a major city, 3rd largest. You know, a lot of they could probably use certain things relating to certain neighborhoods, just like major cities. The top 5 would be New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Philadelphia. That's the top 5 major cities. So for these top 5 relating to areas of crime, which all 5 cities respectfully have a lot of crime. Chicago, quite sure. Philadelphia, definitely. Houston, New York, and Los Angeles. So Trump's going to intensify relating to those major cities and more probably. So that was a report, ABC 7 Chicago, relating to that. That was on Labor Day weekend. You know what I mean? But in certain cities, that's normal. You know what I mean? You know, that's every day. You know. You're going to have rally and protest. You're going to have, this is hundreds block streets for a Labor Day march relating to rally in Chicago over what? Relating to those troops, relating to Trump sending, let me get 2 Ezra 15. Sending relating to National Guards. You have in this Bloomberg, Trump takes a second swing at cutting housing assistance for immigrants, illegal immigrants. U.S. judge halts Trump's efforts to expand speedy deportation of detained migrants. So you're going to have opposition, you know what I mean? Like I said, you had Obama judge in favor of the Trumps, favor of the relating to rulement of the tariffs, and you have another judge that's against it. So you have nation divided against nation, man, kingdom against kingdom. And Satan be divided against us, so how can he stand but have an end? So the powers are divided against themselves. They don't know what they want to do, man. HUD cracks down on government-backed mortgages for illegal migrants. And there's a report that ones who are shielding them or guarding them could be penalized as well, relating to the illegal migrants. You have in, let me see, 2nd Ezra 15 real quick. Second Ezra 15. Let me see something for GNT. I'll get it from that. See what it says. Let me see. Here we go. The world and the people in it are doomed. The war will bring their destruction is very near. The scripture talks about woe to you. The Lord is beginning to visit the earth which he has made. It's part of that. The Lord is known by the judgment he executes. The Lord hate the wicked every day. You know what I mean? 7:11, 9:15 of Psalms. So the Lord hates the wicked. So what he's doing, he's executing judgment. He's bringing things that's going to manifest on the earth relating to judgment, man. The Lord is not a respecter of persons relating to what? Judgment. The world and the people in it are doomed. Woe unto the inhabitants of earth and the sea, man. For the devil's going to come in great wrath, knowing he has a short time. But woe unto the inhabitants relating to destruction on earth, man, the people. And that goes to the ones in position of power, because ultimately they're going to be the facilitators of certain things, man. The war will bring their destruction is very near, and that's World War III. 11 and 14 and 9 and 12 of Revelations, man. The first woe has passed, and the second and the third woe cometh quickly. The first woe is past, and the second and the third woe thereafter, Shalak. The second woe is past, and the third woe cometh quickly. And that's what's going. The woe means destruction. That's World War III. That's what's going to happen, man. You go to Jeremiah. You can also go to relating to that. Also, 1 Peter 3, and different other scriptures talking about that. Nations will arm themselves. So nations are going to arm themselves. They arm themselves with the missiles against one. Scripture says, hear no wars, rumors of wars, see ye be not troubled, for the end is not by and by yet. For nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, there shall be pestilent earthquakes in different places. You're going to have nation against nation, kingdom against kingdom, realm against realm, which goes to kingdom against kingdom. So these nations are going to arm them up with what? The missiles, the arrows. They arm them up. They fight against other nations. And that's what's going to happen. And there will be a great political turmoil. Chaos, disarray. And one group trying to overpower another to what? Gain control. So you're going to have division. Think not that I come to send peace on earth, but rather division. So it's going to be division politically, socially, economically, racially. You know what I mean? It's going to be division. And they're going to be, one's going to try to outdo the other for gain of power, man. Especially when the times are shut down in this society, man. I'm going to read that again. There will be a great political turmoil, one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. The legitimate government. That's the real government. That's legitimate. It's the real government, man. You know what I mean? There will no longer be free access to cities. That's martial law. Things are going to be cut off. Limited access, man. Restricted access. Only by permission you'll be able to move to and fro, A, B, and C. Because of the struggle for power will bring destruction. And that goes to that division and different things. That's going to bring For example, for many great misery shall happen in them that dwell therein, because they walk greatly in pride. Second Esdras, because of pride and arrogance. So these things are being brought in, relating to different calamities, atrocities, and different things, forms of judgment, destructions. You know what I mean? Will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live. Go to Isaiah 24, talking about confusion and confusion in the city. You know what I mean? Chaos, disarray, and confusion in the city, man. As it relates to the condition that's going to happen, the things that's going to be happening relating to where people live, man, in that time. And driven by famine and terrible suffering. So famine and suffering, these are example things that's going to happen in those times. It's not politically correct stuff, man. They're not going to read this stuff in the Christian churches, man. Driven by famine and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possession. So when the supplies go short, things go dark, things become limited relating to victuals and different things, people are going to be merciless, ruthless, relating to surviving. And they're going to do extreme bad things, man. You know what I mean? Friends will fight against friends, Egyptian versus the Egyptian, neighbor against neighbor. You know what I mean? So a spirit is going to be put on these people, man. You know, where they're going to go in pretty much in a desperate mode, state of mind, man. Driven by the famine and terrible suffering, people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. Not just neighbors, but people in general. There's going to be chaos in the street. You know what I mean? It's going to be a certain vibration, an animus, a strife, a contention that's in that day. God says, I am calling together all the kings of the earth to come out of the north and the south and the west, to turn back, to restore what they have taken. Okay. So there's going to be a certain vibration. 16 Esdras GNT. Let's get that. Want a little bit go into it. So this relates to, I want to read 16 to 18 real quick. Troubles will come and many people will groan. So people are going to groan, the troubles, different things going to happen. And people are going to be groaning, moaning, lamenting, and mourning, man. And pretty much people are going to be in a very sorrowful state, man. I'll read 17. I'm doomed. Who will rescue me in those days? That relates to Ezra. Trouble will come and many people will groan. Famine will come, many people will die. So famine, the sword, war, that's part of that. If the sword don't kill them, the war. And part of the sword is war, man. So if one don't get you, the other. So inevitable, which unavoidable things that's going to happen, man. You're not going to be able to avoid or get away from these things. Wars will come and the world powers will tremble through the wars. They're going to tremble through World War III, like I was saying. Disaster will come and everyone will be terrified. What will people do when these disasters come? So that's a question. When all these things come, what will the people do? You know? Famine, epidemics, trouble, suffering, sent to punish correct the people. So these things are used to correct the people, man. But in spite of all of these, they will not turn from their sins. They soon forget their punishment. The time is coming when food will be so cheap that people will think a time of peace and plenty have arrived. And then disaster will spring up everywhere, wars, famine, and great confusion. Many people on earth will starve to death, famine, and those who escape starvation will be killed in war. Their corpse will be thrown out like garbage, and there will be no one left to comfort them of the living. Everything will be deserted, and the cities demolished. The cities wasted and laid in destruction, man. You know what I mean? So the condition of the things that's going to be happening that day is going to be the things that's going to be happening in that day. It's going to be pretty bad. You know what I mean? So the scriptures are telling you war, famine, death, destruction. It's warning you the things that's going to come. You know, this society one day will change, man. You know what I mean? Whether people believe it or not. And it's slowly getting closer to doing certain things, man. So we in the last leg of Babylon. Babylon's America. This is the last rulership, man. This is going to be the last rulership. There ain't going to be none after this. You know what I mean? Unless China and Russia make a move, but you know what I mean, America, you know what I mean, we in the last leg of the revised Roman, which is the continuation through the management and ownership and ownership of America and rulership. You know what I mean? So this is the last leg. So we come into the end. 2 Ezra 14 real quick. Many will say the next superpower would be Russia or China. 14 in 2 Ezra 14. So set your house in order, warn your people, comfort those who are humble, and teach those who are wise. Then say goodbye to this mortal life. High time to wake out of sleep, because your salvation may be nearer than you believe. But put earthly cares away from you, and throw down your human burdens. So diminish the ways of the burdens goes to your worries and different things, and begin to separate as much as you can. Arise, depart, for this is not a place of your rest. It is corrupt, it shall destroy you, even with a sword of destruction, man. You know what I mean? Scripture says you use the world but don't abuse it, man. You know what I mean? Relating to the cares and affairs of this life, the scripture talks about. Let's continue on. And lay aside your weak human nature. Put all your anxieties. Part of the burdens are the anxieties, the worries, and different things. And get ready to leave this world quickly. You have seen evil things already, but far worse things are about to happen. So greater evils are going to even happen. As the world grows older and weaker, and with that older and weaker, it's coming to an end, man. You seeing the fabric, you seeing the split economically, socially, politically. You seeing the fabric that once was held together relating to Babylon. You seeing it starting to tear apart. Materials getting old, dilapidation, degradation. You know what I mean? It's wearing away, man. You know what I mean? As the world grows older and weaker, the evils will come upon it. Its people will multiply. The truth will depart. Falsehood will draw even nearer. The eagle you saw is the vision is just about to ride. The eagle raised to Rome, man. Vision of this place, Rome. Eagle. Aquila, Nashar, you know what I mean? a bird that flies higher than all the others, man. That represents America, man. Rome, revised Rome, which is due to spearhead of America's under new management of America. So that was the vision relating to that. The world grows older and weaker, and the evils will come upon its people and multiply and increase more and more. The truth will depart, the true knowledge will depart, but it's being made manifest now, man. You know what I mean? And falsehood will draw even nearer and nearer. So with that truth being manifest, you also having falsehood as a balance in the mix, man, as well, man. So, one more scripture, 2nd Ezra 6. 2nd Ezra 6. I'll get it from regular. I believe it's 6. Let me see. Yeah, 6:28. As faith shall flourish and corruption shall be overcome, the truth which had been so long without fruit shall be declared. And that's what's happening. The truth is being declared. And ultimate truth will be made manifest where all will know. You know what I mean? Let me get it from GNT real quick. Because the truth has been hidden in guise, under a disguise of a false form of using lies as a form of truth. You know what I mean? But the veil's been removed. The scripture talks about, you know, that veil's being lifted, man, being exposed. GNT. 6 in GNT. For that same verse, 6:28. Faith will grow strong and corruption will be overcome. And the truth which has not produced fruit for so long will make itself felt again. Felt again will be made manifest, be made known. You know, truth hasn't flourished because it's been buried under falsehood and lies, man. You know what I mean? The truth has been dead in society, man. It's been pretty much in the grave. You know what I mean? So now it's being made manifest, being made known. So that's what's happening. That being said, I hope this helps relating to information. This is Zaya Wolf. Give all praise, y'all. Bashim Yashah, Bashim Kakada, Zaya Wolf. Hope it helps relating to informative, relating to information. Shalom.